25-pound plate. I weigh about 225, so I am 9 of these. Just because of its weight and mass, physics allows us that much impact potential. Yes, I understand I'm not falling down, I'm moving forward. But when we take 9 of those and just move them this far and add an elbow to it, it makes for a bigger boom. So from here, that's what I'm doing on this line. As I continue my training in the slam set, more and more information is revealed to me. As I stated earlier, there's 108 motions. However, within that 108 motion criteria, there's an infinite amount of other little motions. I'm not really hung up on the number. If you, in your personal training, you see or you count 108, terrific. If it's 102 or 128, it makes no difference. We're not focusing on any particular number. Again, that's our reference point. What we've done to this point, the first 5 motions, that I am aware of. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next in line. 6, 7, 8, back to this position. What we're doing is I'm integrating the arts that I train. Though this is somewhat of a Wing Chun dummy, we have classical Wing Chun, non-classical Kung Fu and or Wing Chun, Dose Pars or Filipino lines, Kempo Karate, Penjak Silat, and Muay Thai. Purpose of this is to draw and or extract the essential motions from these different arts, put them into a functional line that harmoniously weave together, creating the slam set. Your particular training may be in one of those individual arts, a couple of them, or perhaps none of them. Once you learn the slam set, you are doing those different arts. What's happening now from this position can be sequential in terms of a form, and I'll keep saying that, or broken down individually. I will show you both references here. In terms of the continuous form, I'm doing what we may call a Buji or Bilji in Wing Chun, translated into thrusting fingers. What I'm doing with it is, as I found, is I do my roll back and press in Tai Chi. Supported punches in Penjak Silat. My Bang Saos supported in the Wing Chun line. Creating the frame from my grappling, what I found is universal motions in all these different arts. So I'm taking the thrusting fingers from the Bilji form of Wing Chun and adding to it a supported attitude that's prevalent in all these major arts. I am trying to jam up and through and break their arm. From this position, you're going to be very crowded when you train a wooden dummy. That's good. If you can do this in close, outside's going to be a piece of cake. Trying to, aiming up towards, I'm seeking their eyes. From here, a brush grab strike line. Here, it's a chop, a kempo, creating collision concept. Here on the arm, into a Penjak Silat elbow approach. Back here to a natural pause. What's happening is my feet are pointing towards this corner over here. We need to take a moment and look at some footwork. I'm creating a box, 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Essentially a square. These are reference points. I'm at this corner of the box or square looking over here when I end up off that sequence. From here, eyes, chop, Silat elbow. Let me break that down for you. Taking off the natural sequence of the Mook Jong set, with Addie's right foot forward, where we ended up after our 5th motion was right here. Remember what I talked about earlier as far as reference. I could be out here, that could be the same motion. I could be here. If she moves forward, I can actually be here, and we're going to lift them and drive through our opponent. The difference between a brown noser and a shithead is depth perception, okay? What we're doing here is adding depth perception to everything we do. Wherever she's standing in my spot. So I'll be driving through on every one of these. This is kind of a G-rated approach to contact. I don't have any other way to do it. I don't have enough replacements. As her right hand is out here, we left off in this position, hitting the solar plex. Sequential line of the dummy set, I'm up into her eyes here. Now it's like brush, grab, strike. There's an elbow break, and I'm going to go into chop here to the temple. If somebody was taller, it'd be their throat, whatever. If she were taller again, from here, I'd come underneath and trap that arm. There's so many different things we can do off of these lines all the time. That's back when we talked about Hubad, Chisao, lock flows, Jikundo, that sort of thing. It's always in here. We're not stuck on this particular motion with the dummy set. These are just our entries and saying howdy. Then we move from there and go from there at all times. Back to the sequence here, here, then we're going to trap and hit and drive through our opponent. Let me break these down for you now individually. What I want to do when I'm going to fight, you hear it all the time, watching Monday Night Football. 6'6", 300-pound offensive lineman, bench presses 450 pounds, has a degree in political science, and he's all-pro, and he's laying down on the carpet in the middle of the field and got to go to a commercial. Why? Why do you have to do that? Because they took a shot to the eye. Peekaboo, there you go into the eyeball. Mammoth, powerful, intelligent athlete. We have to go to commercial because they took a finger to the eye. That's my concept. When she's punching me, bam, I'm just going to jam right through her soul. I don't care what she does. No matter what you do, when I attack somebody's eyes with my fingers, the objective here is to gouge out their eyes and skull fuck them. That's my attitude in a fight. What we say in Kempo, anybody worth hitting is worth injuring. I'm not going to scratch your eyes or adjust your contact lenses. That's why the supported attitude from the Penjak Silat. This is creating a natural barrier here with my arm to wrap around. This positioning here, her hand, my opponent's hand, is fitting ever so nicely into that. Because of the support, I can easily be, fist up please, on the outside here. This is wedging. There's nothing in my way and I'm hitting nothing here. Or it was a left punch, I'm on the inside line. I don't care. I'm sticking my fingers through her soul. That's my objective. Your response may be, well, gee, you going to hurt a finger? I hope so. It doesn't matter to me. I'll worry about my fingers later. So that's what's happening when she punches. I'm just driving towards that center. Look at my body positioning. It's not really what I want. Where I'm going to be is here. I can't show that every time on Addy, as I mentioned. Next piece on that is I'm driving here. I'm going to lopsaw right off of that. That neutralizes, punch with the left hand, that neutralizes their left hand. I have the support here. I know where they are. I can go wherever I want. But we're trying to keep in the context of the dummy set. In here, there's the lop. Talking about the numbering sequences, I can simply load and attack. Over here, please. But there's a little break along the way. If she punches with her other hand, this is no longer a chop. We also have her into an arm lock here, or I can go from here, whatever. Also from that position, break, this is just a trap. This makes her head go back here. Notice this, we're back to our trapping range. Now I'm dealing from wrist all the way to shoulder. We're utilizing the whole range of the trapping. Just to protect my partner, I'm going to bend her arm a little bit. By going, watch her head come forward. I hate when that happens. And then there's my Silat elbow moving in with this proper positioning. In layman's terms, they're fucked. Okay, so what's happening is, from here, drive, snap. This shot here, trap, there's your elbow. Broken down even more, there's a Kempo technique in here, modified, called lever. She grabs me with her right hand here. As I counter grab, just to hold this, pull your hand away, pull it away. They can pull it away. They can pull the hand away. But they've already grabbed me, I'm just accommodating them. If this arm's straight, I don't care, I'm just going to block it and hit her anyway. I don't even want to deal with it. Excuse me? In other words, each one of these sequences are alive and have to be spontaneous and adaptable. We're teaching you a form so we can follow the form as in format. The idea of all the sensitivity drills we talked about and all the interactive spontaneity, we're just going to explode through them, take the space, and we don't really give a shit. Back to this, bent arm. I'm sucking her in here. There's her head motion. As that was happening, I come through here and wipe my mustache from my mouth. There's the C-lot elbow. That's from a Kempo technique called lever. What is Kempo? It's multiple weapons seeking multiple targets, creating collisions. We're putting that into a rapid flow. That's basically Kempo. So what's happening from here, here's my collision I just created. When we're in this position, before we get there, what we're doing is brush, grab, strike off your arnis line. I could certainly go on the inside line here as well. So what we have, just to back up a little bit, to give you the breadth of what's going on in lineage or details of arts. Back up please, Addie. From here, it's a Buji from Wing Chun. It's a supported attitude from the other arts, which I mentioned. We go from Wing Chun into Dose Pars and or Arnis Filipino lines here. We're creating a collision off your temple line. We're adding a C-lot type of elbow into here. So you've got Wing Chun and Kempo, Filipino lines and Penjak C-lot, all in a very quick sequential line of events. Do I say that in my mind? Well, hell no. It just happens. That's why you train here. The body goes into autopilot and you're just going to move and take them. Let me back up a bit and I'll show you those first motions, half speed, so you can follow the sequence of the dummy. If your dummy that you may have purchased or built isn't just like this, I don't care, it doesn't matter. What you're using it as a reference point for you and your particular art. Slowly. Very interesting elbow, these C-lot players. They get very close. Wherever you're standing in my spot. It's very close indeed. Addie, please. Brush, grab, strike really doesn't exist. It's off your heaven 6, your stick line there. But there's no time to do brush, grab, strike. Fighting stance, please. Okay, I'm going to do brush, grab, strike off of Addie's, the inside line on Addie's jab. Slow, please. Bang. Looks great on paper. Give me a jab, please. Again, please. It's already gone. What it's for, she's talking to me, she's bang! There's your brush, grab, strike line. Brush, grab, strike in close. Doesn't work off a very fast punch. Don't have enough time. Back to what we established, time and distance are synonymous. A